Hey, Damian Howard. I am your premier social and emotional learning coach. Again, with a coaching session today that's helping us to build strategies, adult social and emotional learning strategies that is going to help us to reduce our stress during the holiday season. As a quick intro to me, my work, who it is that I am the founder of a company called SEL-Plus, Social and Emotional Learning Plus, that focuses on adult social and emotional learning. And as you all can see here, the thing that I care about so much, that I even obsess about, is how are we going to bring change to the urban education system? And I believe that it comes with transformative programming. And that's the reason why I show up here. And I'm showing up right now, super random, just with a thought that hit my heart and that hit my mind, to say, let's go ahead and go live and help people to navigate what can be one of the most stressful times, that has the opportunity and the ability to be one of the most fruitful times in our whole calendar year, navigating the holiday seasons. So this for me is an example of how I show up to offer coaching. That's a part of the transformative programming that I think we need more of surrounding our schools, and as a part of what's going on in our communities. This whole wraparound support services basically speaks to the fact that once we show up for coaching, great content, great advice, great nuggets like what you're getting through this session, now it's time for us to go beyond this coaching and get those wraparound supports that help us to address the immediate needs that are in our lives. And what I love is that when we have leaders who show up to a space like this, you all are the ones who are empowered and equipped to go and do that type of work for other people. And you see it there, big wins popping off, showing up in your life with consistency, with regularity, that once you make the investment into self, that once you make the investment into yourself, that once you put the gas mask on yourself first and you trek towards your own well-being and your healthiness, then you will see greater success showing up, which grows in intensity, which accelerates a motivation and an encouragement to say, I want more of that in my life. And I believe that those are components that can bring change to our education system. So this, again, is a session where we're talking about adult social and emotional learning during the holidays. SEL-Plus exists, that we're wanting to transform the culture of schools. And that's the reason why I hit live go today, to talk to parents, to talk to educators, and say, this is the work that we're doing, and we want to do more of this work with you. You see it there on the left side of the screen here. When adults, come on, parents, teachers, administrators, when we reduce the things that bring us stress in life, we grow the capacity to show up how we need to show up for our students, for our children, for not the next generation, but the now generation. Because as we grow capacity to live in our fullness, to ground ourselves, to be present, right? To be the type of people who are nurturing consistently, then we help to grow what Castle calls the voice and the agency. What is that? The ability for these young people to understand, I have something to say. The ability for these young people to feel a freedom to open their mouths and declare with their voices the change that they want to occur for their own lives and in their communities. They are not the next generation. They are the now generation. They need us to nurture them. And that's why I came today to talk about adult social and emotional learning for the holidays, so that we can grow and consistently mature into the people that we know we could be, for the sake of our children, for the sake of this now generation that I keep speaking of. So I just want to talk a little bit, hey, because social and emotional learning for me, first of all, let's just kind of dispel some of the crazy stuff that's going on and being professed about social and emotional learning these days. They're like, yo, don't teach SEL in the schools. Don't teach SEL in your home environment, because they're talking about some craziness. No, SEL for me, let's look at that acronym. Let's break it down as social. Why in the world would I not want to get language and strategies that's helping me to make better and deeper connections with the people around me? That's what we do. Every time you show up for a coaching session with me, it is oriented around How are we going to get things that help us to make deeper, sustainable, fruitful, loving, joyous connection with the people around us, especially our children? And then also strategies to help us with that. But then the emotional piece is a piece that I love so much because that's what allows us to tap into what's going on inside of us, right? When we think of the fact that pressure builds for all of us based on different stimuli, different triggers that occur and that happen. How are we dealing with that pressure? Do you have language sometimes to tell to yourself, right? And to be able to profess and declare by way of affirmations that say, okay, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm sensing. This is what I'm going through. But this thing does not have to take me out. It does not have to pull me down. And that's why your friend, your boy, your premier social and emotional learning coach showed up today with adult SEL for the holidays. Do you hear me? So that emotional piece, the E of SEL, just says, hey, I want greater language and strategies to tap into what's going on in my own body, in my psyche, in my mind, in my heart. How am I feeling? How do I manage those feelings so that I can be the best version of me? Do you hear me? Do you feel this? Because when we show up as the best version of ourselves, oftentimes I talk about us being able to be more nurturing, to mature into a more nurturing disposition and posture for our young people. But what about you? What about yourself? Some of us understand and realize if we can be real enough, we will profess that sometimes when we get into a heightened emotional state, right, we do out of body stuff. We say out of body things out of our mouths. And when we say those things, it's not just about how we can hurt somebody else, but it's about how we hurt ourselves, how we limit our abilities to make progress, to get to the next level because we're not managing our emotions. So why in the world would I allow politics? Would I allow society to keep me away from this type of coaching? No, let's dispel all of those myths and all of that crazy stuff about what this is. And I'm telling you today, it's let's connect better, the S, with other individuals, and emotionally, let's tap into what's going on inside of us so that we can manage ourselves to show up as the best version of self for those around us and also for me, for you, SEL. All right, so one of the strategies that I just want to remind you all of, hey, every time, right, I show up to coaching spaces with parents and with educators, it's always, Damien, what are the strategies? What can I do? Hey, I came today with an answer, with a strategy, multiple strategies that I just want to share with you all today. And again, it's nothing new. But again, like a part of me and the part of how I show up as a coach is to simplify things. It's to make things so much less complex than we make them because some of you all are not doing mindfulness practices. You're not taking opportunities to breathe. You're not taking opportunities to slow yourselves down, to ground yourselves, to make sure that there's a steadiness about your approach to life because you're waiting on an app. You're waiting to find the resources to get somebody to show you how to do it. Hey, Damian Howard is coming today to say that this coaching is free, 99. You don't have to wait on the app. You don't have to wait on anything. For me, all I have to do is just close my eyes. Sometimes if you're driving or something, maybe you can't close your eyes, but can you slow down? Slow down, slow down, slow down everything that's going on with you. Sometimes you could just bring a slowness and a steadiness to yourself just by breathing, right? So even in this moment, you keep seeing me close my eyes because anytime I'm talking about mindfulness or I'm talking about breathing, I close my eyes because when I shut these eyes, I love you. You are my sisters, you are my brothers, but in this moment, it's not about you. It's about me slowing down. It's about me finding a steadiness and a stillness in myself so that I could find a place of feeling like I'm regulated, feeling like I'm okay emotionally. It's about me exploring my mind and saying, what are some of those thoughts that I'm allowing to run through my mind that are running and driving me crazy? If you don't like the feelings that you're experiencing, what I'm saying is the simple act and the simple experience, especially around these holiday seasons, when it should be joyous, when it should be momentous, when we should be having great time with family. Maybe you need to step away from the crowd and slow yourself, steady yourself, slow down, breathe, take a posture of wellness for yourself in this moment. In that space and during that time, I could have conducted um, a simple breathing practice with you, but I just feel inclined to not even do that. I gave enough direction and instruction in that moment, where for those of you all who felt the need to embrace what it is I'm sharing, turn this thing off, go to a space, shut yourself off of social media for a second, turn off the television, turn off the radio, and just get still. It's going to be hard for a lot of us because we're not used to being still. We're used to allowing society, social media, and everybody else tell us what to think. But if you can shut that stuff up, parents, mentors, educators, if you can shut down to tap in and listen into your internal voice, it's going to be a beautiful thing. You don't have to wait for the calm out. Yeah, not guided practices, guided meditation, or yoga practices. All of those things are great, but I don't want those things to be excuses for you not allowing yourself to use breathing to bring back life and energy and motivation for your now season. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Quiet the voices around you. Allow your body, your mind, your psyche to be still. One very simple strategy that will be transformative for those of us who are saying we have chaos, we have anxiety swirling in our midst, going on all around us. For some of you, it feels like a tornado. It feels like a high level tsunami that just whooshed in, right? And it's disrupting everything that's going on with you. I'm saying breathe, still yourself, and you'll see a shift taking place that allows you to feel better. And when you could get that stress a little bit more under control, you can get your life a little bit more under control. Was that good? Was that helpful? Was that a reminder that you all needed? For those of us who are watching this live, if you watch it via playback, parents, educators, I'm telling you all, it's a coaching about adult social and emotional learning for the holidays. Great stuff, great stuff, great stuff, great stuff. Great, great, great content that's just so helpful for all of us. I'm just trying to see if I could find a way to see if we have any folks that are checking in live. I do see that our live numbers are there. So very grateful, so very thankful for those of you all who are deciding to chime in. You all know how I am. It's always helpful if you just go ahead and leave comments. Let us know how this is sitting with you. Let us know if this is helpful for you. Let us know when you share this, if you anticipate that this will be helpful for your parent groups that you're a part of, your educator groups that you're a part of. It is going down. Let's continue forward. So the next strategy is affirmations. Affirmations. I talk about this all the time. Affirmations, in this sense, I'm asking for you to publicly make affirmations that allow other folks to know what you think and how you feel about them, right? So often, for whatever reason, we can have a disposition that uses intense tone that is very aggressive, even when it comes to pointing out those things that are wrong, pointing out what we don't like, pointing out what grinds our gears, pointing out what ticked us off, pointing out why I don't like you, pointing out what it is that you did that aggravated me. And I'm not sitting here saying that we shouldn't talk about those things, because I think we should. And I've grown and matured to a point to realize that sometimes those type of conversations do take a particular tone. They do take a particular level of emphasis and directness, because obviously the people that we're trying to talk to, they're not getting it, right? So I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to bring you down, but sometimes I got to switch up my language because I need you to hear me. And I need to make sure that I'm seen and known in this moment. So we can have that intensity and we can come with it, right, in those times. But what I want to add today is an opportunity for us to take that same approach when it comes to celebrating folk, when it comes to telling folk, I see you, that you are known in a very positive way, in a very affirming way, in a way that helps them understand maybe even something about themselves that they weren't able to identify within their own characteristics, their own demeanor, their own swag. Call that thing out during these holiday seasons. And I promise you that it will bring about a type of rapport, a type of ease, a type of calmness that helps you all to come closer, that helps you all to deepen your bond during this holiday season. Can you go and grab your mate by the hand? Can you go and grab your child by the hand and help them to understand that I see you? I see your effort. I see your determination. I have embraced a cognizance of your drive. You are grinding. You are like whatever it is that comes to your mind. Sometimes we keep those things in, even though we might feel them. I'm asking you to just stretch a little bit and use that same intensity that we use when things are off and muster up the fortitude, the energy, the intellectual wherewithal to tell folks good stuff about themselves that puts a smile on their face. The S of social and emotional learning says that we want the social connections to be strong, that we want our bonds to be deep. And I am telling you, I've seen it time and time again as your premier adult social and emotional learning coach, that when we show up with affirmations, that it can shift an atmosphere, that it can change a room, even when we are in those moments of really kind of calling out things we don't like. Maybe you can look at that person and say, hey, first of all, I'm not your enemy. I got mad love for you, right? And then beyond that point, right, you can break past and break through stuff that we're not liking by bringing affirmations into that space. Hey, so first I want to acknowledge my appreciation for you because you're not holding this in. You have the ability to articulate and tell me what's going on with you. And that is powerful. That's big for me, right? You see how you're trying to bring in correction, but when you start with an affirmation, I'm telling you, you break that ice and you have an ability to have a different experience on the other end because you stepped in with intentional type of approaches to say, I want to affirm you first. I'm telling y'all, this affirmation, just like that breathing, has the ability to bring a shift and a transformation to an entire environment if you will use it. Our theme, and I'm just about closing with this, for your adult social and emotional learning for the holidays, for the holiday season. Our theme for the month of December has been leadership development. And for those of you all who are not taking advantage of the monthly coaching, I'm saying get in there, get in there. This is the type of coaching that we're providing, that we're offering, and we're making sure that we make this available now to not just schools, but even parents individually. If you're saying, hey, Damien, I like that. I want to get behind the veil and see what you have in your virtual kind of training and coaching space. Hey, get in there, reach out to me. I want to make sure that everybody who needs this, everybody who wants this gets access. I'm coming from the perspective, and you saw it earlier, as a trained educator and a trained minister, and I bring all of who I am to this SEL space because it has already been proven that these are the core competencies. The stuff I'm talking about is data driven, to say that when we do this, it is the type of stuff that brings transformation to our lives. And that's what I want for all of us. And that's why I consistently continue to show up with this type of content. So this month, we were talking about we have been discussing leadership development. And just the last thing I want to say, since we're talking about SEL for the holidays, right? Making sure that we have strategies to help us to minimize stress, to deepen connections and bonds with other individuals. Is as leaders, I hope that we can focus on reconciliation during this holiday season. My wife and I, one of our binges during this holiday season has been Best Man. And during for every part of the Best Man, even the one that came out the late '90s, early 2000s, uh, the iteration they did in 2013, and now the ones that they're showing um, to just kind of end that series. What you see all throughout each of those movies, each iteration of the Best Man is like a lot of tempers that arise because of selfishness, because of me thinking of self more than others at particular times. And in those moments, folks have an opportunity to either say, I'm gonna be mad at this person for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be mad at this person for the rest of the week. I ain't talking to them. I don't want to see them. Or if there's a depth of connection, and right, that you really shouldn't be avoiding this person. Maybe this is a family member. That we should be reconciling. Can you be the leader to take the first step to say, hey, let's talk through that? Maybe you need to be the one to give the first apology. Reconciliation is huge. Reconciliation is important, especially in these seasons where we're going to be all on each other, just like COVID, right? For a sustained period of times. The kids are out of school, right? Let's reconcile earlier versus later so that we don't have to have the pressure and the tension that keeps us away from each other versus closer to each other. And since this month has focused on leadership development, is leaders. Leaders are the ones who have that capacity and that ability to say, I will take the first step to say I'm sorry. I will take the first step towards reconciliation because I know we are better together than we are in silos, separated from each other, doing life on our own. All right, y'all. And I close with this here. So, Social Emotional Learning Plus, I promise you all, this work is taking off, and I'm so elated and excited to lead it. We've seen an increase in parent engagement. School cultures are transforming. Academic success is going up. And then this whole thing of you having a village of support, you had that through our Facebook group. We're helping you to build this with your schools. It literally is going down. We have monthly coaching that we're offering. We have weekly lessons that parents and teachers can use for the students to help the students get access, children get access to this beautiful stuff that we're talking about here. And we even help folks to locally have events that help you to bring this content, help you to bring these strategies and these good vibes to the environment that you care about. And as I stated earlier already, we're now giving access to our work and our platform to individuals as well. So if anybody is seeing this and they're saying, hey, Dame, man, that's good stuff. I want access to that. You don't have to wait any longer for your school or the school that your kid is connected to raise their hand and say they want this. Like, we are making this super available for everybody who wants it. And when I say this, listen, when I show up and I do live sessions via Facebook, I then post this on LinkedIn, and I then try to post it wherever I can post it after that. I'm just giving you a little taste, a little glimpse of what you have opportunity for if you jump into our virtual training platform, our virtual training session that is very robust. And we even give you resources that you can share this information with the people that you care about most. So reach out to your friend. It is Damien, your premier social emotional learning coach. I'm super excited that our group, Social Emotional Learning Plus, is growing. People keep coming to that space. And for those of you all who are new, I hope you got something from this session that was very helpful for you. And when you share this, will be super helpful for your parents, for your educators and mentors that you care about. All right. It's your friend Damian Howard signing off, your premier adult social emotional learning coach. Peace out.